Oh crap, it froze. All right, hey, good morning. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. The fastest freaking show in MLB, absolutely anywhere. With your boy. With your fucking boy, yo, Big Johnny Stud. Coming to you worldwide as always. Coming out the damn chair as always. Follow me on Twitter at John the Gazer Flow. Sharper than a damn razor. Same handle over on Substack. We're $2 a week. Get your 5 pounds of shit in a 2-pound box. Find out what all the hubbub is about, yo. Baseball's version of 300. Give the book nothing. Take from that bitch everything. Madness. Madness? This isn't madness, baby.
This is Sparta!
You're damn right it is. Let's fucking get it with King Leonidas, baby. So yeah, we are just burning the candle in both ends. Thank you for jumping over to YouTube, kind of F Twitter, right? They don't do shit for me, but suppress. So I got to move it on to greener pastures. We probably have a couple of new people out there. Welcome aboard. Hi. If you're a fucking maniac, you come to the right place. You know what I'm saying? We do all the stuffs and things here every single game, every single day, baby. Actually, the show is 6 days a week, but the data is 7. Ranks, projections, all the advanced stats that I'm quoting, time split, offensive team stuff, ex-Wobicon, all stuff very difficult to find for less than $2 a week, where it's all about saving time, you know what I'm saying? All right, so enough of that shit. More of this, you know what I mean? It's the best part of waking up. The pitching sheets in your fucking mug, bro. Can't beat them. Oh my gosh, the comments are already rolling in. Oh, I love all you people so dearly taking the time out. AM 41120 is up in there, really close in a few games. Couldn't pull the trigger. We'll get to that in a little bit. Brian Rose, baby. Good morning. Feels like a great freaking day. You know it, baby. Let's get it. And AM back into the bets. Not really betting sides. We're going to talk about the Red Sox in a little bit. Oh, Brian Elfrin. What's going on? One of the OG supporters of the show. Yo, man, if I don't call you out enough, I see you. Thank you, for supporting the show. Ed Gin, or maybe Ed Kin, says, love YouTube way better. Yeah, seriously, not only is Twitter garbage, it's a garbage video platform. I'm sorry, I was doing everybody a massive disservice. I'm also the person that, listens on the phone, and if you have to close an app, it fucks up everything else. I understand. I'm an old, right? I'm an old. But I get all that stuff. So we got a full slate today. We got 3 games in the afternoon. We're going to circle back for the little skyrockets in flight. Afternoon delight, you know what I mean? Let's do the PM stuff. Let me just make sure I have the right info. I have a habit of letting the Tasmanian devil out of the cage a little too soon. Okay, San Diego and Pitt. So, right, we're going to start at 6:40, right? The nighttime stuff. I always try and keep the commuter crowd in mind. Oh, Adonis! Didn't realize it. Yes. Very much recognize it. Welcome back, and welcome back aboard. Good to see everybody. Yo, Spoon up in the chat, part of the Source Network family. Make sure you're following my guy Spoon on all the fucking socials. I am not the person to, kind of try and suppress people and cap them, The rising tide lifts all ships when you rock with us. All right, enough of that bullshit. Right, let's do the thing we do. Me and you, the Corked Stats crew. First up, Nicky P and the Padres. Plus 130 dog on the road against Yar, Party Skeens, and Debacos. Fuck, man. There's going to be a lot of good pitching today. The name of the game today is going to be find the runs. Can you find the runs scored? Pittsburgh did crap yesterday. Will they get up off the mat? I don't know. Oh, yes. I just wanted to do that. I don't know if they're actually going to. Nicky P, very good. 304, 101. ERA whip combo, last 190 innings. Remember, right now, it's labeled. But when you sign up for the sheets, right now it's 2025 and 2026. I have 2026 only at the end. Again, it's bare bones because I don't think you should be overreacting to it. But, maybe we want to say, okay, this is a continuation of what we expected. This is the opposite, and I'm looking for regression again. These are both good candidates, right? You don't want to say Nick Pavetta's a 7 ERA guy, Paulie Skeens is a 9.5 ERA. That's fucking stupid. Obviously, we're not doing that. we going to be blending the two and then getting away from 2025. I'll leave the data up for you, but we hit a point once you're like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 starts in, you're not ignoring it, but it's time to look at the underpinning arsenal, biomechanics, velo, shape, sequencing, tunneling, arm angles, and all the shit that I deal with, so you don't have to. Again, Paulie Skeens, very good. Nick Pivetta, very good. I don't think we should be, picking nits to the point where we don't think that. Where's the fail point? Probably Pivetta. You could see the elevation bin. He works up in the zone. You got a lot of fly balls, so you could get home runs. But the Pirates have a fucking stinky donkey cock. It's like unbelievable how bad they are if you watch them. Now, they've been a little bit better than the Padres, but again, this is year to date, and small samples can jerk it in both ways. When you look at the elevation, right, ground ball, line drive, fly ball, and the pull hard hit bin, the Pirate stuff is atrocious. They connected it with multi-home run games, and in early in the season, that'll throw things off, right? When Brandon Lowe hit 2 or 3 the first game, O'Neal Cruz hitting home runs when he's not looking like a fucking chadrul in the outfield, just crazy stuff. AM says, yo, Spoon. And Spoon says, yo, AM, there is nothing better. I'm not even going to interrupt the convo. Get to it, people. Talk, chat, discuss. We'll have coffee cake at the fucking end. You know what I mean? That stuff is all the stuff that boosts the algorithm. I hate to beg for fucking interaction. So if it's going to happen normally, that's what it's all about. So back into the offenses here. Padres better approach. They've also been a little bit better with the hard hit stuff. I tend to think they're on kind of an upswing. Pirates, I do like the approach, which is encouraging, something I worried about, but right now they're kind of in the fucking toiletta. I have bullpen stuff, of course. Right now it's 25 and 26. To give you an idea, bullpen's, of course, very wonky. It's why I'm still in the combine. I like to wait a week or two before I go live betting all my money. Padres bullpen in particular has been good, carryover from last year. Pirates bullpen the same. Whatever's going on back there, it's working. That Santana-Soto combo is pretty damn good. Obviously losing Bednar, not great, but... So let's go to the algorithm. Algo says... It's a close one. We've got Pittsburgh modeled for a win. Few cents off the price. Home favorite, Paulie Skeens. That's going to be part of it. Total on this one is 6.5, and I'm still to the under. Again, with strong pitching, guys that go distance, with good bullpens, and bad offenses. But I'm not sure I've ever gone under a 6.5. Sounds like AM kind of sharing my concern here. Padres too loaded with righties versus Skeens in a bounce back spot. And Adams Digest up in the piece. Good morning, sir. Good morning to you too, bro ham. Take a bow, kid. So, man, there's going to be a lot of this today. I hope I don't come off like non-decisive and, milk toasty or whatever, but I think you're going to get a lot of this. Really good pitching. It's going to be a lot of these games are going to be close as shit. Give you an idea of, so not to go off on too soon of a tangent. The show is going to be very long probably today. Look at the totals, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, consecutive games on a slate that have a sub-8 game total. Not going to be a lot of offense. Also, time to start thinking about overall league stuff. The weather is still, kind of cold, so we're not like, oh my gosh, the ball or the carry and the lift and all this stuff. Not yet. But when you start to see that the antenna's got to be going up, right, we're not seeing super bouncy ball where it's flying out in the fucking cold. So this one's going to be really tough. I don't know if I've ever bet a U 6.5, but I think that's the play I have. I like the Pirates to win, but man, betting on this offense is gross. Also, last thing before we move on, the outfield defense is really starting to give me fucking agita. I mean, we all saw the O'Neal Cruz stuff. Did you see the Brian Reynolds play yesterday? Bases loaded. And yes, it was like a deep fly ball. He was in the jog with the glove up, and it just went to shit. So The Pirates offense is reminding me of like the Phillies the defense. I'm sorry, Pirates defense reminding me of the Phillies defense, and in close ones, I don't want to have my money on them because I'm shitting my pants every time they need to make any kind of play. So, love me some Skeens. Not sure I want to bet the Pods on this one. Maybe that is the sharp play. Just out of curiosity, sometimes the run line for the dog, full game run line, the 1.5, is priced pretty nicely. Nah, it's juiced to the cock, minus 175. So, all right, enough time on that. We're out. We're outie 5,000. Next up, it's the Baby Bears, and Javier Assad is up for the Cubs. They've had injuries. Horton and now Matty Boyd. They're saying Boyd minimum stint. I'll believe it when I see it. Bears on the road plus 115 dogs down in Florida to face the flat fucking fish and Drew Rasmussen. One of the games here that doesn't feel that close. The price is a little off to me. And back quickly to what we were just saying about, understanding the tax with a favorite and a good pitcher at home. So when we have, our favorite at home modeled in line with the actual price, right, without making any kind of adjustment, there's probably a little bit of value there. Right? I just wanted to be clear because you see minus 136. That actually shrinks a little bit on the full game. Oh, the Tampa bullpen stinks right now. 7.34 ERA, 157 WHIP, 270 BA allowed, 7 home runs in just 34 innings. Cubs bullpen's been a little bit better, though also not great. They don't really have guys back there I'm terrified of. Maybe Rasmussen is a bit of a threat to not go deep. So you know what? We can get the same price on the F5. So I think that's my play. I think I'm going to go Tampa F5 ML. Look to jump on Assad. Have Rasmussen get his 15 outs and get the hell out of there with our anus intact. Cubs offense has stunk. Right? 199 team batting average, 628 OPS. They're entirely too passive. So I know everybody I'm a approach-ophile. Right? Show me the low swinging strike rates and the low chase rates. That's the stuff that I'm looking for. Discipline generally being in your control. I see that as a leading indicator of production. However, when the swing rate is as low as the Cubs is, and they're also striking out, you have a problem. Right, so I do think the Cubs are good and think they will bounce back, but I don't think we're on the verge of that. And I think that's how you fucking read the tape, in these markets that are always moving. I have it cut off because they're zoomed in too much so you can read it. But I also have XWOBA and XWOBAcon for all the real geeks out there, right? XWOBA, pretty good expected descriptive overall macro metric. XWOBAcon, the best damage metric. Remember, don't use XWOBA for damage because it includes on base stuff like walks, right? So the Cubs, they're a good example of this. The Cubs walk a ton, right? So the XWOBA would be even lower for an XCon that, again, is also pretty low. Oh, sorry. Whatever. I'll clean that up as I go. As long as we kind of get the main points, right? We don't have to write the college thesis right now. We just, all the new people just be thinking what we're getting when we get this stuff and kind of how to understand. Remember, 315 XWOBA is average, like 375 XWOBAcon is average. Cubs are not there, right? So this is, right now, this is a bad offense. Are they going to get it going? I mean, probably eventually. But is it going to happen versus Drew Rasmussen in a pitcher's park? Probably not. Algo, has again, that kind of clean win and cover. So I'm going to go with Ras and the Rays. Assad making the debut and moving on. Next up, it's Andrew Abbott on the bump for the Redlegs on the road against Sandy Alcantara, who looks fucking outrageous right now, man. If you're watching him deal, man, he looks like he's been getting some Cy Young votes. Adam's last thing on the Cubbies says Cubs offense not swinging, still striking out, just like James Wood. I'm laughing. So one, you're not wrong. Two, I it made me think of the GIF, the Michael Jordan GIF, and I took that personally. and I took that personally with the fucking tear. James Woods, my guy, he just hit another home run. I think it's coming. I think there's a legit superstar ability in there. Yeah, but sometimes he looks a little loosey goosey. Adams, not wrong, my man. Okay, let me get back on track. So Reds and Marlins, just working this one backwards. Marlins are minus 140 favorite. Now I have it modeled closer than that, opening up in the later innings. But I still have Marlins for the win and the cover. Again, Abbott is really good on a per inning basis. It really has some old school flair. These are things we cover, right, in archetypes. Elite command and control, can get you to reach when he needs. Very good with up and down stuff. So despite having so this is the thing that drives all the fantasy geeks crazy is, right, notice if you're looking at the video stuff, we have a separate 4-seam bin. Right, so the Stuff Plus, that's 4-seam Stuff Plus. I think that's very important. I'm not big on overall Stuff Plus. I'm not on breaking Stuff Plus. There's reasons that we speak about. Maybe now's not the time. So Abbott, you see the velo is not great. The Stuff Plus is not great. But the usage is through the roof, right? So this would generally be a red flag. Why are you so aggressive with the 4-seam deployment when it's like objectively like a bad pitch? Like, I shouldn't say objectively because that goes against what I'm saying. If we're including sequencing and shape and eye level, plane change and speed change, tunneling and all that shit. But diagnostically, right, the things that we know make a good fastball, he don't got it. Now that shows you where these metrics can be flawed and where the spreadsheet fails to capture all the human stuff. But that, in a nutshell, is why people were not expecting Abbott to be so good. You listen to Corked Stats, so you have a triple-digit IQ, and you understand, right, that with the elite command and control, now we're going to shift over and we want to start to incorporate these bins, right? So with the elite command and control and the elevated fly ball rate, with a really elevated infield fly and low hard hit rates, right? So what does that tell you? It tells you Abbott is effective at working up. He uses the elite control on what's a bad 4-seamer, but he knows exactly where to put it, which is up at the fucking eyebrows. Hitters can't lay off the high cheese. They can't lay off it. They know if they can tomahawk it, they can get it out. But because he's so good at up and down and in and out and getting you to go up and chase it and get under it, that's where all the pop-ups and all the poor hard hit rates come from. So Andrew Abbott is always going to be a little bit better than the spreadsheets. Say, holler at your boy, for all the analysis right there. Gold star on our fucking nose, know what I mean? Couple of comments going in. Spoon, up and Adam, if you're watching the Cubs baseball, it becomes terribly obvious why slap hitter Nico Horner is my favorite active player. Oh, AM, okay, let's get on this because this is a good segue into Sandy. AM not buying Sandy's success yet. The lefty splits are still an issue. He's looking to fade him versus teams, that hurt lefties, okay? That the competitive sample. So we're going to do the under the hood here. Appreciate your AM because I think that's the stuff that's the interactions that we really love here. Honest and smart and data backed pushback. Let's take a look at the videotape. Because from what I saw, I kind of had the spreadsheet boner going on. But I don't speak in absolutes and like I know everything, not the case. Okay, so right off the bat, I like the pitch mix change, right? Anytime you're dumping a sinker for an elite offering, I love that. And so for me, that changeup was always elite. Now it's a primary pitch. So that was the pitch he threw the most. That's the out pitch to lefty. So that's my counter to you. And I'm not saying you're wrong, AM, but let's make that the thing that we watch out for, right? So these are again, this is the nuance and the context that just drips out of your fucking nose when you roll with us. But this is what we want to look for. This is my assertion. Okay, so let's bring up the Sandy splits that AM was talking about, right? We have split stuff. It wasn't bad. If you're worried about the command and the control, and there were some home runs. Other than that, it's not bad. Maybe I got to recheck that. I'm gonna double check that my notes are on. But anyway, that doesn't change the fact that the spreadsheet. Yeah, hold on. I got this one. I love this. I think it's Shylin 58.99 says gotta pop the hood. You damn right you gotta pop the hood. Look at the spreadsheet with the spreadsheet. What exactly, bro? It's crazy, but if you know how to wield, right? If you know how to wield this thing, right? That's how the fucking bookie's head ends up on a stick.
This is Sparta!
Damn right it is. So, all right, let's try and get back on track. Again, I shouldn't have spun off into the weeds. I'm worried I may have had an export fail. I'm going to go double check that in a second. So my push would be the answer to Sandy v. Lefties is the forwarding, of the changeup prevalence. And that's a monster pitch, like a legit monster pitch, really effective versus lefties. This is going, even last year, 322 X lug, 28 whiff. This year, I'm curious if we got any shape improvement, because to see that kind of, it's got extra drop, extra break. He probably adjusted the grip. So I'm buying the Sandy stuff. This is another one, though. I don't know if you're going to get a lot of runs. I do think we have the pitching edge with Sandy. I also think you have the hitting edge with the Marlins, the Reds. I love the fucking Reds. I'm a Yankee fan, but the Reds are like my NL team. And the Nats, and the Reds are just, I had to get away from them. That's when I moved to the Nats. I couldn't take it anymore. They just broke my heart so many damn times. They go into the tank and just stay there forever. 624 team OPS, 75 WRC plus. They haven't really done shit yet, and not sure it's going to start today. So sorry for the wild ride, but it was hopefully beneficial to see, like, we don't just shoot from the hip. We don't just willy-nilly. We take all kind of criticism and pushback very seriously, looking for its strength, and then look to kind of counter it the best that we can. Right? If we can't, then you concede. Hopefully that's why this show kind of sticks out opposed to the other ones, besides the fact no one is doing this fucking shit. You got to be a maniac. You have to be a certified fringe fucking lunatic to do this shit every day. Why do we're going to move on in a second. Why do I like Miami? Why would I consider paying the minus 139? It's would be the bullpen. So again, one of the other things you get when you sign up to the Substack, if you're looking up, is the bullpen report. I just like to note for guys that might be unavailable. So Cincinnati is teetering right now. Remember, there is no definitive formula, but you could highlight possibilities. Cincinnati, again, kind of hanging by a thread. Emilio Pagan, 3 of 4, 50 pitches. Santillan, 3 of 4, 36 pitches. Brock Burke, back-to-back. So that's kind of the three big arms that you're worried about. The two in particular you're worried about. 3 of 4, you generally don't see a lot of 4 or 5. I would imagine that they're not going to pitch today. It's possible if you need a single out, things can go haywire. I don't think it's a disqualifier, but I think that kind of puts us over the edge. Now, the Miami bullpen, I had been a little worried about. Now Fairbanks is on the IL, but I do think they get it done. I'm going to try and get some momentum and hurry up. So I'm going to go Miami. I think we get the full game because I think we have, I think we got the goodies. Next up, Mr. Freedom, Matty Liberatore on the bump for the Cards, minus 104 favorite on the road against my boy, Cade Cavalli. And the Nats, Cade Cavalli was catching a lot of shit, man. I like Cavalli. Also, he was one of my potential breakout picks for this year. Now, again, I'm not saying fucking Cy Young, but for like fantasy stuff, I thought he was way too cheap. AM says, for the record, I think the Reds lineup is a great matchup for Sandy. Righty heavy, not scared of the lefty bats. Awesome fucking call out, my friend. T-Matt, back up in the chat. What do you think about the Reds F5 plus 05? Let's go to the videotape. So my first thing, it's always the price. Okay, see, so that's a play if we're eliminating the bullpen that I could get down on. Everybody, do me a favor, put the price, right? Because the price really matters. And I've been really hamstrung with my searching. The sites I was using are not really working as great as I wanted to. Right, I'm seeing minus 120. Yeah, I could dig on that because you're getting the run, right? So if we keep it tied, that's kind of what I have. I kind of have 2-2, right? So that's a 2-2-2-1. My guy Jaybird up in the chat, LFG John, moving this to YouTube. Let me watch this at work way easier than on X. Yeah, I know, man. I was saying that before. If you missed the beginning, I kind of had to do a mea culpa, right? I was forcing it on X, thinking that, like, again, if there are any content creators out there or people that ever think about it, X streams are worthless. You get the highest number because they count people streaming. They don't do anything. They don't benefit you in any way, and X doesn't even boost your account in any fucking way. They actually, like, fucking suppress you. It's not a good video platform. It's total bullshit. I really was fucking the duck on that one. So we're going to be over on YouTube where people can watch in the background with good apps and viewing and changing speeds, right? And fast forwarding. It's like, whatever. It stays on and whatever. It's the right thing to do. So appreciate you, Jason. Sorry, I was so slow to the upkeep. In my defense, everybody, I'm a legit. When I say one-man band, it's legit me. Me. I mine the data, do the formatting, run the algo, post everything, promote everything. I record the show, I edit the show, I fucking produce the show, I, release and then promote that, betting and shit all at the same time. That's why the pick stuff for me, I pump the brakes and the picks because I have so much other shit going on. I have to make I have to make the paid subscribers to this that let me keep the fucking lights on, my kids fed, a priority. All right, let's get back into it. So yeah, I could dig on the Reds early. Let's get back into the pitching day. Man, Liberatore and Cavalli, again, we got another good one. Both of these guys were good examples of potential breakout picks. What do I mean? You could see all the blue on the board. They both kind of stunk, right? Going back to 2025, minimum 4 ERA, minimum 1.3 whip. These are not great. Maximum 18K, maximum 12 KBB. These are not breakout numbers. However, right, there was draft capital. They finished strong. They both came out of the box looking really good. Now, I don't really like to start using Sierra just yet. The Sierras are kind of giving you a little bit of a red flag, maybe the KBB too. But you have kind of contact guys now emerging. Maybe of all the low-scoring games expected by the totals, per totals, maybe this one is the one with some runs. Again, because of all the contact, right? I'm more willing to give in to BABIP luck being a thing than, some monster strikeout guy getting yoked. Or like Paulie Skeens sucking again. I'm trying to convince myself, Nats offense, very old school like contact, on base, steals, scoring runs, lots of ground balls. They don't hit it hard. They don't need to. Everyone is really fast, right? Nunez is running like crazy, and Wood is running. Everybody run. They're all really fast. Cardinals offense. Sorry, I saw the Cardinals comment. If I could trust the Cardinals bats, I'd be all over the over. Cavalli, you think is a gas can. And with ground ball guy in the bad weather. See, again, I like Cavalli a little bit more than you do. We'd make an interesting radio pair because we don't agree on anything, which is great, right? You want disagreement because that spurs learning. If me saying something and you saying, I agree, it doesn't add anything. We might be right, but it doesn't add anything. Cavalli, man, let's see. Velo is good. Again, dropping a sinker, introducing a new sweeper, which has been an excellent pitch for him. He's able to throw it to both-handed hitters. Right, so again, this is the stuff that I'm looking for when we're talking about change. My guy AD says, Cade's a reverse split guy. Cards could run 6 righties out there. My projected lineup, again, this is just loose. Well, but I'm gonna have the lefties in versus the righties. So I've got Weatherholt, Herrera, Burleson, Wynn, Gorman, Walker, Church, Pahe, Scott. If you think maybe they sit Church because he hasn't been great, I guess I could see that. Spoon says, if the Nats had one decent bullpen arm, I'd be on them. Well, could I introduce you? Maybe I could entice you, with a F5. I know Spoon bashes me for those. Price on that one, for the record, -110 Washington on the F5. And that might be something I could snack on. Algo says that kind of makes sense because that's the price I have. I have -113, so I like the -110. And it's kind of a mixture of what everybody said. My worry is just that the Cardinals bats kind of suck. And like Spoon said, I can't back the Nats for 9, yo. I can't do it. I'm not even sure if the numbers reflect it. They absolutely do. I have bullpen stuff up on the board. Through 44 innings, Nats have a 6.34 ERA, 1.7 WHIP, 5.05 Sierra, and a 2% K-BB. That is just freaking horrendous. Yeah, there it is. Adam Stein just says, first 5 is a child's bet. It's in quotes. Curb's quote on the first half stuff. I know. He kills me with that shit. I love him, though, man. That is my boy. And again, I so appreciate the pushback. Now, I hope this doesn't come off arrogant. It can sometimes. I fucking hate it. But listen, a smart dude. I know that, okay? I don't think I'm the smartest dude in the world. I know I'm a smart guy. I put in a lot of effort, and I'm very good at thinking, right? I've taught myself to think, okay? But, shit, that's it. I got fucking confused because I went and clicked something off, and now I'm just I didn't want to sound arrogant and say I'm smart. Now I look really fucking stupid. Well, that's what I kind of deserve. What the fuck was I saying? Child's bet. First 5 joke, rolling with it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I totally lost my train of thought. Just knocked my earphones out of my ear. I'm falling apart. Oh, is it the fucking Nats pen in F5? Man, I don't know. I totally lost. Whatever. I'm going to listen back and go, oh man, that's what I wanted to say. That's why I got trying to balance the comments and shit. Anyway, let me get back on track. So the Nats bullpen is atrocious. I'm not sure what went off when I was looking at this. I quoted ERA whip, the KBB, using this stuff, being fucking smart. I don't know. Be fucking smart. That's I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah, I really am. I swear I'm a fucking idiot. Man, where's my fail horn? I need the fail horn. Well, I'll take this. I'll take this. Fat motherfucker. Shut up. Yep, motherfucker. Double boo. I'm getting throwing tomatoes at me. All right, shit. I can't believe I lost that. I used to make quick notes, and again, I'm just a Tasmanian devil. All right, so let's get back on track. Cavalli over Liberatore. Oh, we were talking about, God damn it, the splits. I mentioned Church. I can't grab it. So yeah, the Nats bullpen is just horrendous, right? 12 home runs already. Can you believe that? 12 home runs in just 44 innings. So, yeah, you can't back that. If you want to bet the Nats, and I was imploring, I was imploring Kyle for this, was if you really like the Nats ever, that make the exception for the F5. I know, he bust balls, whatever. We were away from that. They just did it to the Dodgers, right? The Nats were up on Sasaki. That would have been a perfect spot to jump the Nats at 5. I mentioned it that day on the show. I didn't love the Nats pitcher, whoever it was, so we like the over, which also was good. But anyway, they blew it. Of course they blew it. They're atrocious. Just the absolute worst. A couple more comments. Hopefully someone's making fun of me. Yeah, listen, AM says I'm here to learn, appreciate the insights. That's what this is all about. You know what I mean? That's what this is all about. So I think, to get myself back on track, I think I'm going to get with Cavalli and the F5. I tell you right now, there's a little ember in the back of my brain trying to figure out what the hell, where I was going. Hate dropping those bowls, right? Balancing up on the sticks eventually. Somebody take a fucking spill. All right. Next up, it's my guy. It's just all the guys we love. Jake Mizurowski on the bump, 134 dog. I'm like, holy shit, bet that to your C's on the road in Fenway against Crochet and the Sockums. Now, I think if there is the fail point here, you can see the Red Sox offense has stunk. And it's not just stunk, it's poorly disciplined with no lift. Right now, they're in the fucking tank. They also don't run, so they're not scoring runs. Just atrocious. They're going to get better, but right now it's whack. Oh man. I took a lot of shit in the fantasy streets for like not being Will says, "Oh my God, Spoon and John. Yeah, we got to get Spoon on here too, man. I don't normally do the guest thing because the show is such a fucking wild ride, but yeah, I'm so glad to be kind of becoming part of other sharp communities. There's so many fucking grifters and shitheads out here that I just can't stomach. That when I find people I do really like and I'd actually work with, I really try and do my best to, uplift and promote, follow Spoon, follow Sauce, follow Toast, get with these guys because, they get with Adam and get with Monotone, hook up with these guys because they actually give a shit. And as more and more betting stuff goes out there, it's more on us to kind of filter out the nonsense. So I took a lot of shit being cold on Roman Anthony. I just wasn't buying it. I didn't love the profile. I also think he'll be phenomenal. But this thing of ours has an element of timing, and I didn't think that was there. So, AM thinks the Brewers are going to struggle versus lefties this year. Has that manifested in the sheets? Again, I'm not really looking at splits right now. They're doing Brewers things versus lefties. Again, you have to know which lefties they face. I don't know off the top of my hand. That's another one. The reason why the Sauce show is so good. Kyle uses that. He has these cool drop downs of last 7 lefties you faced, last 7 righties you faced, or whatever. So you could then determine, because of course, if the lefties the team faced, if it's Freeland and all these fucking gas cans, it's like a lot less impressive than they got to Crochet, you got to, I don't know, Blake Snell or whatever. That all of that said, Brewers offense has just been a lot better than the Red Sox. It's really hard to kind of chop it up. Really not much going on. When the Red Sox have made contact, I guess it's been good, but there's not nearly enough of it, right? 80 zone contact as a team is right on the line of like being a viable like MLB or so. To me, this one is like, here, watch. We'll see if I can validate this on the sheet. So I've got Boston by a cunt hair, not nearly enough to pay minus 160. Should you pivot the other way and get with the Brewers? I'm kind of on the fence. It depends on the pricing. It looks like it's juice to the gills, which it totally kills me when, and I get it, the books are not in the business of making us money. But like, you wish it was a little more formulaic, because they could just make all the unfair choices, right? They don't have to balance things at all. Now, I must have had a misread because I could have swore that I just saw Milwaukee F5 minus 127. I'm not so hot on that. Then I know I just saw Milwaukee F5 run line, right? That's getting the half run, you cash in a tie, minus 110. If that's legit, I'm really struggling without my bookie open. If that's a legit line, I can mess with that. And I hate going up against Crochet. And I have obvious concerns about anybody, getting the big Garrett. But to get Miz against this lineup with the run, near even money, my bookie has minus 120, and even that is starting to get a little hairy. So I'm gonna mark it. I don't always play these, but I'm gonna mark it as a show pick because I think the numbers are there. It's just a matter of if I'm a fucking coward or not. Next up, Aaron Civale on the bump for the Atleticos. They're in the boogie down Bronx to face the New York Yankees. And Cam Schlittler, damn near Kildler out there. He looks fucking incredible. Yankees minus 213. I hate standing for the Yankees the way I have this season, but can you blame me? Oh, they're awesome. The pitching has been incredible. The bullpen is there. I don't think this is the Yankee juggernaut offense, in prior years, but they're doing enough. They take walks and they elevate pulled batted balls. They hit home runs and they're stealing bases. New York Yankees stealing bases. So that's part of the new meta, trying to understand winning teams. To me, running has never mattered more. And sometimes it's I'm going to sound I'm not this smart, right? The subjective expansion, right, of that theory, meaning we're saying stolen bases are good, right? So there's like an intuitive element there. Stolen bases are obviously good. They're not bad, right? They are good. Extra base, right? Advancing on the base paths is good, right? We don't have to go any further. What I'm saying, though, because you're not stealing home, so stolen bases don't necessarily equate to runs. The implication of speed lends itself to an implication of the extra base, right? Meaning first to third, second to home on a single. And that's a tough stat, man. I got to fucking note that. Can somebody please write that down? How the fuck we're going to find this? The guy who did it for me, I don't know. Maybe I got to ask Johnny Anderson. His data warehouse is the shit, by the way. And it's what percentage, this is a 6 stat, right? You don't hear this. What percentage of runners scored from second on a single? Now, again, there's going to be some edge outliers that kind of fuck everything up. But it was a Yankee team that brought this up that I've kept feeling like they would get ground ball singles with men on second. Giancarlo Stanton. Guy don't score. Guy don't fucking score. Could be Goldie, sometimes whatever. You know, these old fucking lead feet. So, I know that was like a fucking another Mr. Toad's fucking wild ride. But it is the truth, right? So, keep an eye on steals. Maybe more than bettors generally do, right? That's a fantasy thing. That's a prop thing. But I think if you're betting, I think you want to be paying attention to steals. So for me, yeah, it's a little bit ballsy, but I'm going to go on the Brewers. Oh, let's go back. What the fuck was I talking about? The Yankees. So Yankees should murder. All right, I mentioned Brewers, but it was the Yankees I was talking about. The Yankees with steals are, you know, that element to the offense is crazy good. I have them, you know, killing the A's, obviously. It's very hard to have a model justify a minus, you know, 213. It's just not there. Like, that takes a that stretch formula that I was mentioning, right? Stretching the top and the bottom outward. AM has a comment on this game. Was really close to the A's Yankees 08 wind blowing out the right field. Hold on, let me double check this. I saw a ridiculous wind reading early. Ridiculous wind reading, like 25 miles, something ridiculous wind reading that I wanted to like see it confirmed. Let's see. Yeah, we got 20 plus miles an hour blowing out to right center. I mean, hard not to love all the Yankee lefties. Oh, shit, my Ethernet is skipping a little bit. Hopefully I didn't bounce around too much. But yeah, you got to like, you got to like the Yankees score 1 million runs today. He's saying 08. I had a listed 8.5. Yeah, but the 08.5 is actually flat money. So yeah, you could find an 08. I would always do that. I always paid a little bit of juice to get those breakers, especially that one. Not only gets you the win with the 9th run, it affords you the tie on the 8th run. So to me, when you're buying up, it's especially worth it. Let's take a look at Savali. Well, I mean, he's been okay at points, but this feels very much like a retread. Last 107 innings, 479, 125 ERA whip combo, all the indicators in the mid-4s. I mean, it's a bad fastball. It's not great control. He doesn't induce swings and misses, and he works up in the zone. Like, this is just reeking of, you know, Yankees going fucking ham bone. Schlittler's been fantastic, 255, 109 ERA whip combo in his short career. Excuse me. The indicators, you know, love them, but they're all below 3.6. Hard to get them at 2.5. He does nothing but throw the four-seamer, and it's an awesome pitch. He throws like 98 plus. I mean, the command is better, much better than the walk rate. He has a lot of confidence in the strikeout, which I get. Maybe that'll come in time. What I mean is when you look at the disciplinary basket up on the sheet, ball rate is more predictive than walk rate, right? Leave the walk rates to the filter queens. We're focused on predictive stuff that matters, and not flicking our fucking hair to get subscribers or whatever. Though, I got a decent fucking rack. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, losing my mind. All right. Yeah, so Schlittler with an excellent ball rate. Like, so again, this is not Yankee glazing. This is actual legit statistics. A 33.5 ball rate is phenomenal. Phenomenal. 9% walk rate is not. Generally, pitchers with a 33.5% walk rate are going to have a 5% walk rate, a 6% walk rate, like legit, the best in the league. Like, for real, I hate to even be like that, but it's the truth. That's up with the very best. So there's a world where Schlittler just throws more strikes with 3 balls and like even levels up even further. I'd like to see him diversify the arsenal. It's all fastballs, but again, it's working. Maybe it'll change when it stops working. Adams had something on the, I keep saying Adams because I'm reading, it's Adams Digest, Adam. Savali, fly ball pitcher in Yankee Stadium, but doesn't strike anybody out, say a prayer. Yeah, no shit. For real. Also gave up 3 home runs in March last year in Yankee Stadium. Yeah, expect more of that. Will Flam up in there. I would isolate Yankees TT over. Also, maybe some A's bullpen is cooked for the extras. Yeah, okay, so this is a sharp way of thinking when you're worried about one side scoring. Right now, one half side of the coin is the team we don't like to score, the A's, is on the road. So at least you're gonna get the 9 frames. So conversely, the Yankees, who are a tremendously heavy favorite, we're only expecting 8 at-bats, right? 8 innings of hitting. That doesn't mean they can't get there. I'm going to have to look. And I'm just asking people, and you don't work for me, you don't have to do shit. Put the price and the score. Like, let's fucking hash this out. Right, because Yankees TT over, what is it? If you put it out there, it saves me, again, I'm being a little selfish, but it saves me the time of having to go chase it down. Because, again, the people that listen to this are generally very smart. This show is not for stupid people. So your responses are generally going to be really smart. So if I'm smart and you're smart, the 1 + 1 = 3 a lot of the time. I am generally interested in all the things you people have to say. I'll ignore stupid comments. I'm reading them because they're good. Give me the price. Like, let me know what the deal is. So I have hold on. I want to zoom in. Yeah, it's 4.5. Put it, Jason, you know me better than that, brother. Prices or it didn't happen, right? Prices or it didn't happen. So number 1, hold on. Here's the stupidest face I can make. Huh? Oh, shit! I went and got it too. I forgot. Hold on.
What?
Okay, so not only are the Yankees 4.5, it's also -125. You guys can follow Jason too. Jay follows very smart people, and the way he's very good at kind of drawing value, it feels like. Jay was one of the first people who start using my implied team totals, combining alt stuff, and I got a hit today. Somebody sent me like, oh man, they're just printing with this shit. So let me check the algo. We gotta have Yankees at 5 runs, right? So, and generally 5 runs is, oh man, woza. Yeah, so that's our play. Even with the extra frame, we don't give a crap. So Yankees full game TT 4.5, like absolutamente, like abso-freaking-lutely. We want that bad boy. All right, let's move it on. The show is taking a year and a day. Well, you know what? I got up and out nice and early, and the YouTube growth was so encouraging that I'm just kind of in a flow state right now, doing the thing that I love. Jason, daily special question. Yeah, shoot. while Jason actually brings that up, if you're looking up at the screen and wherever curious about signing, I didn't really walk you through the tools. You've seen the stats, you've seen the algo, you saw the pen report. You also get every day, all the totals from the algo. I put them in one spot. Love Jason. We're syncing in real time here. So here's a good way to read this. I'm fucking blind. I have to go to the full screen. I can't say why. Okay. So I know everybody's always looking to kind of oversimplify. But you got to be careful, right? John, how do I play the daily special? Should I just bet the top 3? And it's like, generally, if I had to give you one rule, that's generally the rule. But you got to read the model, right? Because you can't be like, oh, it's 0.01 better than the other one. That's the higher number. Like, you can't do that, right? Again, this is for smart people. If you have smart questions, you'll get smart answers. We're going to get smart results. But don't be willy-nilly. If you don't understand, you ask. So, a few reasons I mention it. 1, yes, this board does have 3 teams separated. There are 2 teams really separated. On a normal slate, right? This is an abnormal slate because of all the 6 totals, 6.5 totals, all the big pitchers going out there. There are usually several teams in that high 4s, right? It's an average score between 4.5 and 4.8, right? These are all the teams that have 4.5 team totals, right? That's normal. It means your model's accurate. This one, so first of all, this Colorado looks very misleading because it sticks out with the dark red. It's in the 90th percentile, but only because of the low separation. I don't know if we want to go there. However, you got to look at prices, right? So people mentioned the other 3, 4.8, 5.3, and 5.7. I'm rounding. Normally, if I have a 5.7 and a 5.3, I'm generally not playing the 4.8. Jason, grazie mille. That's at the Jason924, Jason Jaysun. One of my real, the one of the real ones, right? Real kind of capo status achieved in this thing of ours. So Astros 950, heavy favorite in cores with Kyle Freeland. Yanks 1500, Braves 1700. So now, to put all that stuff together and to follow up on Jason says, gotta nibble Yanks and Braves, no? Yeah. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So again, even with all that about the 4.8 and not letting it throw us off because of its separation and percentile grade, that price is stupid, right? The books are always going to struggle with cores games. I don't know if we have any DFS players out there. There's probably a few. DFS players are very familiar with this. Fading cores. Right? It's like, oh, the light bulb goes off. Yes. Are we fading cores or are we not fading cores? Man, I really like Burrows, and the Rockies just kind of blew their load yesterday, so maybe they go back in the tank. You're always taking you're taking your life in your hand. But you are getting Yankees home, 20-mile-an-hour wind, and a fucking Savale. You're crazy if you're not. If you don't have a piece of the Yankees, 15-1 highest score, you're crazy. Hold on, I got to mark that down. So, great call, Jason. I just love and respect all you people out there taking your time. Also, you said Rockies 1900. I mean, yeah, listen, 1900 for cores. And especially on this slate. I mean, there are just so many games that have these low totals. And it doesn't mean the score can't get there, right? Schemes could get errors and it could implode, but we got to be smart, right? You can't just bet the worst team because anything could happen. That's kind of silly. All right, let's get back on track. Hopefully people are learning shit and digging the show. Couple of cool comments, man. This is from Mark Stasiowski, 4824. I think I recognize that name. I think he's a paid subscriber. I just love you people, yo. Really that you value my work, and it's very hard to ask for money. So for you to pay and support us, right? I'm trying to pay that shit back with the hardest work I could do. I never, ever, ever put anything before you. It says, John, keep grinding, brother. Just caught you on a Source Network. Love the vibes. Yo, thank you, dog. Know what I mean? Seriously.
This is Sparta!
Gets me fucking jacked up every time. All right, Trolley Dodgers, Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the bump against Kevin Gausman and the Dodgers. This show is going to be like 3 hours long. I'm going to go fast. Gausman's been excellent out of the box. We know he has like Cy Young vote getter upside, and Yamamoto looks fucking outrageous. I have to have the wrong total here. You know, it's sometimes you try and up the F5 stuff, it doesn't all come out timely. This can't be 4.5 F5, can it? Do the Dodgers carry that much gravitas in the scoring market? I mean, I don't have them for that. No, it should read 4. I'm going to correct it. This all should correct on everybody's sheet in real time. No, it didn't. Okay, so I copy pasted something. That's okay. I got you. I've got Dodgers, by a touch. Not enough to get to the minus 160, but enough I am kind of worried that it's a 2-1. But you have to consider that when you're betting at 5. And I know we could keep it close. I like the Jays. We got Guy, Boston Sports, good people, good work. Appreciate you, brother. AM doesn't hate the under here. Dodgers been fortunate with good matchups last few games. Yeah, I mean, Gausman could shut down anybody for 5 innings. So you could get it. You could get it. Another good question would be, what's the straight F5 price? Okay, my bookie doesn't even have it. I do have the 4, but it doesn't have listed starters. I wonder if somebody has some shenanigans going on. Okay, so for me, it's probably under or nothing. I was looking to see if I could find a sexy price on Toronto. Again, I hate quoting stuff. I just saw one that was off. But man, if this is a minus 110 half runner, you could dig on that. Do we need to do the fail points? What's the fail point? You play the Dodgers. They stick their finger in your coolie. Right? What do you think? What's the fail point? The other way is Gausman is awesome, and the Jays have a lot of talented hitters. They have a very good approach. They have struggled at the dish. But, anybody can be gotten on any day. I'm kind of flipping back and forth as I talk about stuff, which is why I love these sheets so much, right? Because they fill in all the gaps where you have those questions where they can literally, they can keep up with my stream of consciousness. They're fast. I mean, look, Yamamoto's been great. If anything, it's command and control. Though even that is relatively really good. He's been so good because it's ground balls. Yikes, this is a tough one. Jay's pen also fail point is the bullpen. I think if you want the Jays, I think that one again. Sauce. Yo, love you, bro. Deep, profound respect for you. Consider you an actual real-life friend. No joke. Highest compliment I could give somebody. I'm a very outward person. I just can't get down with this bashing of the F5s. I can't get down. They're like must-be teams, or at least at points where you say, nah, bro. Nah, bro. It's awful. It is awful. I just don't trust him to get any outs. 10 home runs through 51 innings, ERA north of 6, 300 BA allowed from the Jays pen, in case you were wondering. Stick some nuance on that. Adam says, 017. Oh, out. So this is for Gausman. Yeah, okay, so it is a little juicy, 137, but I do think he gets there because I think they're going to try and force every out from him. Generally, if I think a pitcher is going to give up 3, I'm not on an over out. I think Gausman could give up 3 early, and he's not going anywhere. They need those outs. Mark Jordan, 2112. Great show, John. Thank you. Yo, look at all these comments, man. This is freaking awesome. To take your time out of your day to support the show and, shout me out and not even be, self-serving. Right? So I think that's part of it, too. The people that comment with positive stuff, like, yo, trust me, you don't have to. You took your time to do something nice. Like, yo, it means something to me. So, yeah, to me, it's Toronto F5 run line. I'm actually going to mark that one down. I'm going to grab my nuts and try and get after the Dodgers a little bit this year. Remember, we do the Ivan Drago thing with them, everything they hit, they destroy. But everybody fucking loses, it's baseball. Next up, Scooble Dooble Doo. He's on the bump as a 172 favorite on the road in the Twin Cities against Taj Mahal Bradley. I mean, I've got exactly what you'd expect. I actually have value on that minus 172. I have the Tigers just killing the Twins today. So, it's everything. Tigers bullpen has had a couple hiccups. I still think they're better than the Twins. I think the Twins are one of the worst. Bullpens. All right, so Spoon coming to the rescue for my guy Kirk. He's not bashing it like that. It's a joke. He's identified as a higher hold market. Yeah, this is something we talk about also. Obviously, you're getting sharp stuff from Sauce, no question. Lower limits. It's one of the bets you have success. Oh, and when you get limited faster. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Spoon, probably a little new to our little thing of ours. Yeah, this is all stuff like we know. When I first broke into the industry, it was FTN's launch year. As an F5 modeler, we destroyed them, and I got kicked out of everywhere. In fact, my bookie told me I can have full access to everything except for F5s. They just shut it off. They just said, it was funny. They don't want to limit you because the limits extend. They're like, we're just going to shut you off on this market. Oh, Spoon, I didn't mean to come off like I was killing him. I'm Sauce knows. I got massive love. We shout him out every single day. We shout all you guys out every day. Jays have 2 short starts in a row, and the BP is torched from Mark. Yeah. So again, that's part of that context, right? Understanding the bullpens, which is funny. That's right. Toast is like the best in the business he knows every bullpen back and forth with the usage and the trends. And it's like, gosh, the first time I worked with him, I had to add the bullpen report because I realized there were people that were so fucking sharp out there. So fucking sharp. So yeah, Scooble Goat, right? Scooble Goat, Taj Bradley. Now, hold on. All right. Again, in my efforts to kind of be quick, Bradley needs a hood pop because, right, he had that money start so far. He's off to a really great start, and I picked up on something on Savant the other day. Let me bring this up. Hold on. Somebody was bashing Bradley for some regression. And again, like I was mentioning before, door swings both ways. I absorbed it, wanted to see if I could counter it, and remember being like, oh shit. Like I really liked what I saw. Velo is up a full mile and a half. Completely ditched the sinker. That's always a big one for me. And the shape on the four-seamer, leveled up all the way. I very rarely do you see this. So Bradley added more than an MPH on the four-seamer and flattened it by over an inch and added an inch of induced vertical break, right? So he's over 19. So Taj Bradley, one of the best four-seamers in the game right now. Adam is worried about the weather. Fair. My other concern, what we've been talking about, was Detroit being a team that, when we're looking for runs from the Tigers, we're looking to isolate and attack hard-throwing righties, right? Because they stack all those power lefties. And I feel like, that would include Bradley. But man, I'm nervous that the breakout is real. I mean, Scooble's obviously just ridiculous, right? He's ridiculously good, and the Twins' offense stinks. So I don't want to overthink this one. I think, and the Twins' bullpen's garbage. So if you want to give me all the Detroit cover stuff, I could get there. I'm not the biggest, like, run line better, but this feels like a spot that we can get there. I like that Detroit gets the ninth frame, right? We want that extra opportunity to score before we're, you're paying juice to have to win by 2 runs, which absolutely sucks when the opposing manager lets that run. They're not going to let the winning run in, obviously, but they're going to let the losing run for you in, right? They don't care about your plus 1.5. They'll let that shit score. Let me get a price before I move on. It's actually plus money. So I'm going to go Detroit full game cover because it's plus money. So Detroit minus 1.5, and we get the plus money on that. Next up, it's the Pickle George Kirby on the bump against nasty Nate Eovaldi and the naughty Jungle of Love. Texas Rangers at home, plus 102 slight dog. Again, just 2 power impact pitchers. If I have any notes, this is another one. Tempted to go under that F5U4. Really tempted. It's not, I like to grab 4.5. I don't think you were ever going to get that. I'm even seeing some 3.5s. Right now. And a little cross shout out here. I thought this was a Detroit eruption spot. Right, I was kind of there. Since you and Spoons expect Taj to continue, I'll stay away. Yeah, I think, remember, right, we don't have to bet all this stuff. And all of these things can be true, right, where maybe, Detroit gets to him on the way out the door. Maybe Detroit gets the cover against the Twins' pen. Taj looks strong, maybe doesn't get you the F5 cover. Those are a tough bet. That's like that one I sound like Kyle on, where you're paying juice on this, where it's fucking, oh man, the pressure is on to be ahead. Where conversely, I love the plus half run where you could cash on a damn tie. Okay, so take one is leaning F5 under, try and find the best priced 4. I don't like full game unders because I don't like the fucking ghost runner. I've lost on those. 1-1, ninth inning. You lose a U9, I'm out. I was like, this sucks. This is so stupid. I don't want it. I'm not doing that. Right? There's no way to tell me that the way we have this modeled, the way the books have this modeled, that this can't, won't, shouldn't be tied after 9. Second point would be the bullpen emoji. It's why I have them there. It's just to, when you see it, you automatically think, let me flip and check the tab. What's the damage? Robert Garcia, back-to-back, 34 pitches. Cole Winn, back-to-back, plus 3 of 4, 34. Tyler Alexander, 2 of 3, 31. Jalen Beeks, 3 straight. You ain't seeing Beeks. I don't know if you're seeing Winn. Now they threw Beeks 3 straight, so maybe they throw Garcia straight. However, you see Beeks is 3 straight, 34 total. Garcia's already at 34. So every once in a while, I don't mean to put people into a fucking spiral, because no, I don't have the answer, and I love to kind of question our guy Sam on that stuff, because again, there is no answer. Some, managers have way more aggressive styles and throw shit out the window depending on the game. It is what it is. But they're struggling, and it's not a good pen. So if you're going to lean full game, I think you got to get away from Texas. To me, that's like a fair, that's a fair take on what's a very hard thing to quantify. Flip side, if you told me you like Texas getting the half run through 5, no shit. No, I'm all about it, bro. I'm all about it. I've got this one close as shit. Spoon says Kerry Bonds dealing with illness on Detroit. Okay, I was expecting him to play today, Spoon, but that is also a good call out. Yeah, so like unlike Trout, when Trout took that HBP, I knew he wasn't playing yesterday. They didn't clarify Bonds, so you could be right. If he's sharding this morning, we might not see him. But if he woke up and had his Wheaties, maybe he's good to go. Keep an eye on that. Single hitters shouldn't really move the needle on a model score, but you definitely want to be aware of all the impact bats. So this one is F5 under, Texas first 5 run line, and Seattle full game win, right? That's kind of like the pack I have. I don't think I'm going to post anything. Everything's a little too close to call. Next up, stop analyzing pitching and cores. It's a fucking waste of my time and yours. I also don't ever recommend betting these heavy favorites on the money line. In cores, you should either be betting the over or the underdog, and that's it. I don't like either in this spot. I was a little too slow. I think there might have been live 10s out this morning. So now you kind of missed the boat. And I don't think, right, as much as I'm saying like you shouldn't be thinking about pitching, I don't think they get Burrows because I don't think Freeland is good. I guess every so often he comes out, right? I mean, again, it's always so bad. How did he pitch so far this year? I don't even know. He's been good this year, but again, he doesn't strike batters out. And pitching to contact in cores is like how you get destroyed because it's like the BABIP heaven of the world. So I'm going to just a hard avoid on these games. Again, do I like the over? I'm sorry, or that includes team totals also. We missed on that the other day, and we missed by a day. Colorado scored the next day. Mark S. says it's Burrow's first time pitching in cores. Yeah, there's something to that, brother. And that's why thank you for you kind of put the mark on why I think it's stupid to pay the juice. Good pitchers who haven't experienced it have very much described the difference in movement and stuff, how it moves, like just the pathway of the ball and the break being inconsistent and with how they always do it and sometimes inconsistent in game. So needing different attack plans. Houston does come off like the type of high IQ team to have accounted for that. But until the guy's up there and has actually thrown the ball, I hear you, bro. Just don't bother. It's stupid. Bet the over or the dog, and that's it. Walk away. Jason, the alt total god. Alt FG total is where I may go with Houston game pairing with the Yanks alt TT line. Looking like 8.5 alt FG and Yanks 3.5 alt for plus 105. So just to clarify for anybody that just went, what? Taking the Yanks team total, the one that we loved at 4.5, taking that down to 3.5, and pairing it with an 0.9 total of this game, which, Jason, between me and you, I think hits. I like all those. I mean, I think the Yankees get the 5 because I have them for the 6. But yeah, again, you're playing it safe. You're not getting the 9th frame. I love that. I love that. Because a lot of times I know there's extra juice, but it's still just a calculation. And I think strong calculations still hold there. And, you get the high probability. So let's move it on. We're getting near the end of today's show. Oh my God, this is entirely too long. I'm sorry. I don't mean to go this long because I know people have real lives. It's funny. I get mixtures of that. Some people are like, dude, go the 3 hours. I'm sitting at work. What the fuck? Who cares? And then some people are like, dude, I have like a 45-minute ride and I got to get to shit. I spoke to, shout out my guy, Will. Oh man, Will is the fucking man. You know him from VSiN and a lot of other platforms. I fucking love Will. I have such a special place in my heart for Will. So I wanted to get his handle so you guys could follow him. He's at not the Will Hill. It's not TheeWillHill. Will is fucking hilarious. He is one of us. He understands. He gets it. He's so fucking funny, man. He is so fucking funny. I love my guy. He wrote to me that he put me on 2-speed. So I've joked in the past that me at double speed is just a solid tone. Like the emergency broadcast system. He wrote, it's super efficient, but I have to focus. Yeah, no shit. If you notice, though, I really try and incorporate the team or the hitter or the pitcher name that we're talking about as often as I can because I know people do skip. I've noticed Spotify, which is where I listen, they do the auto chapters and they basically nail it. right? Because I blah, 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 and then where I stop, it's very good at it. So it will segment games a lot of times, which again just can be helpful because we're always in a rush, you know. Reynaldo Lopez on the bump, minus 149, favorite on the road against Yusei Kikuchi and the Angels. This one rubbed me as like a weird price, kind of. I thought Atlanta would be a little bit heavier than 140. Let's work this one backwards from the Algo. I mean, I have minus 139 on the nose, so I have Fairline on the favorite. Not only do I not like Yusei Kikuchi, the Angels have the pen. It's Romano 3 or 4, Chase Silseth 3 or 4. So those are their ace relievers. You generally do not see 4 or 5. You generally don't see 4 or 5. Again, it's not to be absolute. But it is so early in the season, managers don't want to burn these fucking guys out. Raylo is very effective whenever he's healthy. Or I should say that. Right? He came off to a good start. He's been brilliant this year. Again, the stats are going to be garbage. Last year at 5 innings and he got destroyed. It's small sample stuff. Kikuchi without Houston is kind of shitty. The market must like the Angels offense. I know they hit home runs, but the Braves have more home runs. And they don't strike out. Yeah, I got this one as a bit of a misprice. Just because something is juiced, of course, doesn't mean it can't be a value. I could probably snack on the fucking run line also. That one's plus 120. So it's either pay minus 140 fair or pay the plus 120. And, you know, you're always taking a little bit of a risk. You know what I mean? I may just pay the money line and look to cash and move forward. But I think the cover is like fully in play here. How Braves been against lefties against 100 plate appearances, but whatever. Not chasing, you know, and pulling home runs. So whatever, that's good enough. That's good enough to be Kikuchi in my book. Can we get out of here or what? We're almost out of here. All right, Christopher Dirty Sanchez on the bump for the Phillies on the road against Robbie Ray and the Gigantes, plus 130. Also, this price felt a little weird to me. I guess like Ray is good, but the Giants stink. I don't like the bullpen. Sanchez is just so filthy that I guess you could sell me on an under F5. This one, the Algo, has under F5 U4. Some places looks like that may have dropped to 3.5 actually. I'll never go over the 3.5. It did drop to 3.5. So like out. Just out. Maybe this is a donkey pair with Atlanta. Though frankly, I'm a little worried about the Phils. I don't know why. I don't like the Giants at all. So I guess I'm just being a pussy. Yeah, I'm just being a pussy. It's the bullpen thing. I kind of overreact, but if I'm not mistaken, the Phillies wasn't the worst. Okay, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I was mistaken. Duran 2 or 3, Alvarado 2 or 3, Keller 2 or 3, Meva back-to-back plus 3 or 4. Could see him, but also maybe not. Now, if there's a silver lining for the Phillies, it's that the pitch counts are very low. That's part of the equation also, and that's also part of the trend stuff. Some managers don't like the up and down. Some of them don't like the pit. It's weird. We're going to be tracking. I don't like the Phillies without their top pen. I would keep anything Philly related early. It also kind of turns me off on the under because I worry about Ray giving up home runs. You know, that's why I think they're going to lose. So I don't want the Phillies to score and then to cough that up late. So I'm going to put like Philly F5 stuff, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to get there. All right, that'll freaking do it. We got to get the hell out of here. The show's entirely too long. Remember, if this is too long for you, there is a podcast version that compresses all the ums, the uhs, and all the stupidity that goes on. I really wanted to see if I could build a early 3-game parlay. Maybe we could just do it off the top of our head. Noah Cameron and the Royals on the road against Gavin Williams and the Guards. That one has a 7 total. I think I'm going over that. Trevor Rogers and the Orioles on the road against Shane Smith and the White Sox. Orioles do have the frying pan, but I just think they're going to outclass the White Sox. I think we get a win there. And then the last one, Zach Gallen and the Diamondbacks on the road against Freddie P. and the Metsies. This one, I'm probably over the 7 also, but I think I like the Mets. So give me a pair of 07s in Baltimore to win in the morning. And that will do it. Let's get the freak out of here, yo. That went entirely too long, but hey, man, people are watching and starting to subscribe. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Comment. I see the comments afterwards. I'll respond to it. The live stream comments don't pop up. I'm like still not good at using YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at John Legeza. Check out the Substack. You can see all the stuff for free, right? You can see all the things we use or by the video. I think the video is better because you see it in real time and how we use it. But you could actually see all the charts that you get provided. It's up every day. Data is 7 days a week. Show is 6. Right now, the show is free. I have paywalled it in the past, right? We kind of reserve the right. I can't promise the freeness. I generally go by engagement and stuff. I mean, if people are supporting the show and it's growing, I keep doing it because that growth could lead me to lower the Substack price for everybody, pull it all together. If it doesn't have traction, then it belongs to the people that pay for it only. So that'll do it from all the fine folks at Corked Stats and La Costa Gaze. Thanks for picking up what we're putting down. Hit me up anytime. Sign up to the Substack. And all that's left to do is enjoy the games. Enjoy the day. When we're done with the book, enjoy the pay. Jason says, with your blessing, I'm going to post some plays based off the algo and what we talked about. Deuterino! No asking, brother. Free promotion. Let's go, kid. Let's go. You're the man. Spoon says, great work. To you too, man. To you too. You and Toast and Kyle. It's probably the best show, the best betting show. I'm trying to do my best to keep up as a one-man band. But there's not a lot of this out there. And I think we're covering for anybody that's unfamiliar with the Source streams at midnight. So, I'm not always up. And ours is like 9, 10 in the morning. And I think if you're doing them both, if you're up late, listen to that, back it up with this. Or if you wake up early, you listen to his first, back it up with mine throughout the late morning and the afternoon. You're fucking prepped like a pro, right? You're going to have it made in the shade, laid like an egg, baby. All right, let's get the hell out of here, yo. Just remember, when you work this hard, the winning feels a lot less like luck, yo. Peace.